Hello, I'm Andrew Tyler. I'm from the University of Stirling in the UK, and within AquaWatch, I co-lead the Working Group 5 on capacity building. So thank you for this opportunity to present what is the first phase of Scotland's International Environment Centre, which is a £22 million investment from Scottish and UK governments over 10 years. And the centre is really designed to break down silos, to deal with the seemingly intractable challenges we have in the environment, such as how we deal with climate change, and reimagine research and innovation to deliver sustainable, inclusive growth. The first phase of the development is fourth era, the fourth environmental resilience array, a living laboratory based around a digital twin of the whole of the Firth of Forth catchment. It's being developed in partnership with business and industry, including BT and the Scottish Water, and also in partnership with statutory agencies and third sector organisations, and fundamentally also with communities to support that green recovery and help deliver the just transition to a net zero economy. Water is at the heart of fourth era, as we're feeling the effects of climate change through water. Extreme events and subtle changes of water quality as a result of that complex interaction of water with catchments, with climate change. Here's an introductory video that we developed during lockdown that helps to set the scene. Water is essential. It not only sustains life, but it's interconnected with human activity, from industry to agriculture, from transport to energy. But water is also central to how we will experience climate change. That could be through extreme events such as flooding or drought, but also through smaller, gradual changes which impact how we use water in our daily lives. Water also provides some of the solutions for a carbon-neutral society through the production of clean energy to the promotion of carbon capture in our landscape. Because we depend on water in so many ways, we need to understand that complex relationship to develop new, sustainable solutions that can help us to adapt and become resilient. That means researchers, industry and regulators working together with communities to better understand how we use and manage water, developing new, inclusive approaches that enable carbon-neutral prosperity. The fourth environmental resilience array, or fourth era, is a state-of-the-art environmental monitoring and recovery platform, the first of its kind in the world. The platform uses a combination of in-situ and satellite-based sensors to monitor water quality and quantity across an entire river catchment. Capturing and analysing live data on this scale, made possible using BT's 5G network, will help business and decision makers to adopt more sustainable practices. Home to a diverse economic footprint, from national parks to heavy industry, the River Forth catchment is the perfect location to pioneer this living laboratory and to work with a range of partners who can benefit from this approach. It doesn't matter whether it's farming, the oil and gas sector, or environmental conservation. We all need to find cleaner, greener ways of working if we're going to make a fair and sustainable transition to a carbon-neutral economy. One of the most exciting features of the project is the ability to analyse live data in real time using a bespoke online platform that resembles a flight simulator. It's the reimagining of research and innovation in this way that sets fourth era apart. The approach being used can be upscaled and used elsewhere, so the project has a potential to offer intelligent, data-led solutions to business and regulators across the world, as a global exemplar of how to make the transition to a lower carbon future. So to achieve this and these outcomes, we need to work at the full catchment scale. So we can invest in natural capital to mitigate the effects of extreme events and also to promote carbon sequestration and biodiversity, as well as opportunities to use water sustainably to promote exemplars of that green recovery. Energy, green energy, for example, or green innovation. But this necessitates a new paradigm of understanding that breaks down traditional silos, be they geographical silos of understanding or indeed disciplinary or sector-wide, or indeed silos driven by policy, for example. But effective management relies on timely access to robust and sustainable data to inform dynamic decision-making within government, within policy, within industry, and within the public. So how are we going to do this? Well, first and foremost, we're building on 10 years of development, exploiting optical satellite remote sensing to monitor water quality at the global scale, accounting for the optical complexity of these environments and bringing this to the catchment scale to provide a continuum of understanding of water quality and its connectivity to the landscape. We're also coupling this with synthetic aperture radar data from Sentinel-1, for example, to monitor water quantity, and that's from soil moisture and its links to flooding and drought, all the way through to monitoring extreme events. So we're also pooling monitoring and sensor data from a range of organisations to provide that high temporal resolution data for specific points in the landscape. But there are still gaps. So what we're doing is also to augment existing monitoring networks with new sensors to provide that high temporal resolution data at key points in the catchment where we need the intelligence of what's happening. We're also providing sensors to validate that satellite data, but also to provide measures of water quality and quantity and other measures such as carbon sequestration that can't be measured so readily from space. But then we have to ask the question, well, what's happening between sensors, or indeed what's happening between satellite overpasses? And here we're also then going to be exploiting machine learning techniques to provide that sort of nowcasting capability, and also building process-based modelling to drive that sort of short-term forecasting, and also consider what-if type scenarios for the catchment. So what is a consequence of some kind of mitigation in the catchment? What are the downstream consequences of that? Or indeed, what are the consequences of not responding to the climate emergency? So this together then will build an absolute wealth of data which needs to be transformed into knowledge. And here we're working with a number of SMEs to help deliver this at pace. 3DEO is one such company specializing in data visualization, and we're building a platform with them to facilitate data visualization, both on desktop platforms, but also augmented reality, so we can take this technology, this intelligence into the field. We're also working with British Telecom, or BT, to build that digital fabric to help facilitate sort of plug and play opportunities for sensors in the landscape, but also exploit that 5G capability for new sensor innovation and also push large volumes of data out to stakeholders. And indeed, all of this is being developed with stakeholders within the catchment and nationally to ensure that what we build in this platform is valued and sustainable and scalable to other locations. So the platform will facilitate innovation, not just digital innovation, which will help facilitate new sensors. And we've been approached by a number of sensor manufacturing companies to help build into this, but also real-time data flows, that nowcasting capability to inform decision-making, to promote understanding and our connection with the environment, to mitigate the impacts that we're having on that environment and promote opportunities to cut emissions and go beyond regulatory compliance, and fundamentally to promote green industry. And as I've already said, also provide that forecasting, which will enhance water management opportunities, and also consider long-term what-if type scenarios to inform better decision making. And this collectively then together grows resilience and climate adaptation strategies. So over the nearly 2 years now, we've been developing this concept, undertaking trials from which there has been much learning around the technical requirements and challenges, and also the logistical challenges of deploying sensors in the environment. But we're now finally about to enter the implementation phase and building on a group of partnerships to deliver on this. And we have built a significant coalition of the willing, forming partnerships that encompass both innovation centres, especially around sensor development, but also research institutions and other university partners, and statutory agencies encompassing both environmental regulation and conservation management, and third sector organisations and community action groups focused on the development of place-based innovation, and fundamentally also industrial partners, including Scottish Water, who see Fourth Era as a key test platform to support their transition to net zero. So thank you for listening, and either myself or one of the team will be delighted to come back and report on progress over the next year or so. So thank you very much.